All right, you grasshoppers, look who we have here. So you guys all know about my adventure, the old man going on Survivor. And lo and behold, never would have guessed it, but ended up being my best friend on the show with the late
Yeah, you said it. You said it out loud. Best friend.
Well, I have to. It's for everybody else. I don't want to admit that, too much. How are you doing, Ryan?
I'm doing good. I'm glad we got this computer thing worked out.
Yeah, we're supposed to be on about 2 hours ago, but big dummy, little dummy here. So just so you guys know, there's Survivor was a blast. I'm sure Elaine will say the same thing.
Yeah.
And they treat us great and everything like that. But there's a lot of stuff they don't show on the show, right? Because there's so much filming that happens. So for whatever reason, we ended up on the same tribe together, and her and I just hit it off, and we had a lot of fun. A lot of comments.
It's because you're a smart aleck, just like I am. So I get along with those kinds of people. It was a good time, though.
It was great. So just when we got there the first night, so just what everybody knows, when you're there for 5 days before you go out for the show, and you got to sit around, you can't talk to each other. We're not supposed to talk to each other. Elaine was talking to everybody, but
I was secretly whispering.
Yeah, secretly. So you're trying to judge everybody, right? And they're trying to figure out who am I going to get along with, who I'm not going to get along with. So we get out there the first night, and we go to sleep on these bamboo beds, and they are awful.
That was horrible.
But the funny part was we had everybody in our tribe, all 10 of us took turns evaluate what we thought the evaluation was of all 20 or all 19 other people on the show. So it was pretty entertaining.
That was pretty funny. I think I don't know. I was just worried about you dying, Tom, because you're so old. I was like, somebody do a pulse check on Dad. I'm scared.
So Elaine comes up. My nickname was out at Pops or Dad, and every night we go to bed, she'd say to everybody, like, make sure you wake up in the middle of the night and check his pulse, see if he's still alive. So.
I was scared. Hey, there was a few times after the challenges when I literally thought that you wasn't going to make it.
Oh, stop it.
Yeah. I mean, you were huffing and puffing. I mean, you was done. Like a biscuit.
It's just because Krishna kept screwing up our challenges all the time. That's why I was going to die. Couldn't win any.
That's hilarious. You're still hating on Karishma. Yeah. It's a year later, Tom. Get over it. You can't vote her out no more.
It's funny. When we went out there, I all the interviews they do, and I said, I'm going to win every challenge. I won't lose any challenges. I don't think we really won one the whole time I was out there. So
no, and you told me there was no island or no idols on the island of the idols.
Yeah.
And I was like, Tom, I tried to talk, and you're like, no. Yeah. No, there's no idols out here. And I was like, oh my God, this guy. And I thought, there's my best friend right there. The big dummy. That's my friend.
A little stubborn.
Yeah. Oh yeah, you are.
There was one time I went out and actually, I said, okay, I'm going to go look for idols. And the cameraman was right there. So when I left, he didn't follow me. Nobody followed me. So I said, okay, then there must be any idols. So obviously I went out at the wrong time. Everybody already had them in their pockets. So, but
yeah. Well, you took naps. That's all you did was nap.
I did.
Yeah. You napped all the time.
God, you and the girls are going down like swimming in the pool there, like a country club or something like that.
I mean, are we going to say what I said or no?
No, I'm not going to say that. No.
No.
But the girls were forming their alliance, and Elaine had a little code word for when they're going to go do their talking. And we dumb guys, we didn't realize they're forming an alliance. We thought, they're just going down for a swim. So,
that's pretty funny though.
So how we'll talk more about the show, but how's life after the show?
It's been pretty good, man. I've been going to a few schools. I went to Ohio the other day and I talked to 300 kids the first time. And then, I've been talking and trying to inspire the youngins. And I've been just making appearances and doing some things. You hooked me up with the guys, so I'm going to be writing a book.
Yes.
I'm selling some T-shirts, doing a little bit of everything, man. Living the best life.
Well, the great thing, if you guys watch Survivor at all, for me, what came out of the show was Elaine's popularity. And she probably, even though she didn't win the show, she probably one of the most popular players that ever played the game, really. And Jeff said it well, like that when somebody gets known by that one name, and Elaine did that, everybody proved she's very popular. So,
that's why you tried to get rid of me, buddy. That's why they was getting rid of me.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, just so a little gameplay. So Elaine and I get out there, we hit it off right away. But we said, okay, we got to be careful here. We can't let everybody know that we're buddies out here. And then when Ronnie and Aaron right off the bat wanted to vote you out, and they were pretty open about it. For me, it was pretty important that I showed you, listen, I'm not letting that happen. I told you I'm going to be loyal to you, and I'm going to be loyal to you. And So poor Ronnie went home.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad because, after they told you I went hunting for that idol, then you were like, well, let's vote Elaine out of here. And I was like, Vince told me you were coming for me. And I was like, there's got to be something to that.
Yeah.
And I was like, I got to go talk to Tom. So I went and told you, I was like, yo, I didn't have time, you big dummy.
Yeah.
I literally come back to camp. And as soon as we came to camp, we went to tribal council. So
Yeah.
I was glad you decided to stick with me because who knows?
I did get, and that was, to be honest with you, that was a mistake in my part. If you went and looked for idols, you should have looked for idols. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, I guess, I was probably thinking, okay, we're riding to the end together, and you got to let each other know what's going on. But looking back at it, you're right. If
I didn't have time.
Well, yeah, but even if you did find an idol, you shouldn't trust anybody. As much as we're friends and all that kinds of stuff. We're out there. Yeah, you shouldn't have told me if you did. So we got past that pretty quick. So.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you believed me and you stuck with old Biscuit.
Yeah, we did. One of the funny ones, I was joking around all the time saying, I'm going to call Proby and Dimple and all that kind of stuff. And Elaine, and we get to the first tribal council, and Elaine starts giving it to Jeff too. Like, where you been? Thought you quit. No, actually, that was the first challenge, right? We got
the first challenge. I told him, I was like, yo, we thought you quit. And Jerry Springer's the new host of Survivor. And he's like, Jerry Springer. I was like, yeah, because of all this drama. He knows how to work the drama. But yeah, it was fun. And then you started busting my chops about me loving Jeff and yeah.
Well, we get to the first tribal council, and so obviously we're just getting to know each other, right? So it's 3 days into it, and I know Elaine's a tough little farm girl and everything. And also we get to tribal council, and the tears start flowing, and I'm like, oh, poor Jeff, I love you, Jeff, I love you. So,
well, I hadn't told you about my mom yet, and so I was super emotional, and I had went through a lot just to get there. Yeah. So the thought of leaving, it broke my heart after everything I had been through. And nobody understood why I was so emotional because I hadn't told anybody. Yeah. And then I finally told I told you and Missy. I had told Elizabeth right after tribal. The next morning I had told Elizabeth, I think. But yeah, I had told you three, and then I was hoping that people wouldn't think I was such a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, for people that follow me, they know that the True Grit life, get up early in the morning, all that kinds of stuff. And I think that's one of the reasons you and I hit it off too. You've had a hard life, the working, the farm life and all that, but things that have happened to you. Do you mind talking about your mother a little bit and how soon that happened?
No, I don't mind. Me and my mom didn't have the best relationship growing up. She split when I was little, split when I was 2, and she was just in and out of my life. And I was always the parent, and I always gave her money. Me and my brother bought her vehicles. We put her in apartments. We took care of her. She lived on the streets for most of her life. And towards the end, when she started getting super sick, Chewy, my dog, towards the end, when she started getting older and she couldn't live on the streets like that, we let her move into my grandpa's house after my grandpa passed. And she stayed there. Chewy, you hear my dog?
Yeah. Is that the same dog your father killed with the couch?
Oh, no. No. That was Tom. I told you that story 1,000 times. It was a chinchilla. A chinchilla.
We'll get to that story. So
anyway, this is her. She's got to have somebody paying attention to her.
There you go.
But so when she moved in my grandpa's house, she was 60. I think she was 68. She had went in to have surgery, and she had a cyst removed, and she was having problems walking and stuff afterwards. So they sent her to a nursing home for rehabilitation, and she fell a couple times, and they just put her back in the bed. And the next morning, this stupid dog's driving me nuts.
Go ahead. So just so everybody knows, we're talking to Elaine here from Survivor. My alliance with Survivor took off on me after the tribe swap there, but go ahead.
Yeah. But anyway, so she fell in a nursing home. She ended up with a brain bleed. She had to have emergency brain surgery. She went on life support. They wanted to unplug her, and we told them no. because my mom's tough. And like, I was like, yo, if you just give her a chance. Well, she bounced back. She started getting her memory back a little bit. She recognized me. She was starting to speak. She had a trach in, and she just started getting better. She started holding her head up. She could raise her arms up. I gave her a washcloth one time, and she washed her face. You know what I mean? Like, but she was learning, and so I was going through the casting process during all that. And when we went to finals, and I came home, I went straight to see my mom, and they told me she was getting so much better, she was going to come home soon. Because the plan was is that I worked 7 days a week, 12-hour days, and if she lived with me, she needed to be able to just go to even if it was just set up and set on a pot, you know, she needed to be able to go to the bathroom by herself. And they said she was getting strong enough that they thought that was going to happen. And I was like, wow, that's amazing. This is great. I'm getting ready to get on Survivor, I think. My mom's doing great. And then 5 days later, her potassium dropped out, bro, and she died. And it's like, you gave me all that hope just to rip it away. But there was a different meaning behind all that. And I kind of felt, I figured that out when I was on the island. It was, this is the biggest thing I learned when I was on the island. When we talk about time, like our definition of time and God's definition of time are two different things. So when I used to go down in the chapel and I would pray and be like, you know, I pray for time, God, just give her time to heal, give her time to get better, give her time where I can take care of her, just give her time. And he gave me time, but not in the sense that I thought. I thought I was looking for years to come. And what he gave me he gave me time to find forgiveness and to
forgive your mother.
Yeah, to forgive her. And he gave me time to, it makes me tear up. It gave me time to let go. Let go.
Do you feel like you forgave your mother?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
Dang, why you gotta make me cry, Tom?
What's wrong with you? That's already a big baby.
See, this is what would happen on the island, and then he would call me names. Big baby. No.
Oh, yeah.
No, so but seriously, like when that happened, it was like I was devastated because I was thinking the future was going here, and it took a totally different turn. And when I went out on the island, I had all this going on, and it's like, so I was just trying to have fun. I was trying to experience everything, and I was just trying to do some soul searching. And I found a lot of what I was looking for. I didn't find that check, but
you got enough money. We talked about it. You got enough money. You know, it was just for me. You know, I kind of felt like watching the other series and the players on our series, our show. I kind of felt like some of the emotion and the drama was a little bit made up, right? I thought some people were kind of playing up a little bit. With you, though, the great thing about you, it wasn't. You know, I think that's one of the reasons I trusted you was that you know, all the emotion, everything, you know, was for real. There was a purpose. There was a reason why you were so emotional, all that kind of stuff. So
I'm just not a big crybaby for nothing. I mean, I got a big heart, so I'm super compassionate for other people, and like, you know, I tell everybody, I've been telling people, like, I feel like I'm John Coffey from the Green Mile. Like, when people tell me their story, my heart breaks with theirs. And it's like, and that's just who I am. And I have a hard time not being that. And that got me in trouble on the island. It's like,
but you know what, though? I feel like, I think anything, and we did it too, where you're trying to look for a reason to get somebody in trouble, get the heat off you, right? So the fact that you had such a big heart and everything, especially Ronnie and Aaron early, you know, okay, let's go after that. That's a reason to target. So we don't want to be the first one voted off. Let's find some other reason to get somebody else. And that was the reason with you.
I didn't understand that because I'm a loyal person. And it's like, you maybe you don't want to sit next to me, but somebody loyal that's, you know, is going to be with you like that. Yeah. I didn't understand trying to get rid of that. I'm like, okay, if you want to cut me later, that's what I said. Cut me in 20 days, put a pin in it, come back to it, you know? So that was their reason. And I just didn't get with it.
What surprises about the game was there for you? Did you pretty much know the way it was going to be, or is there something that kind of took you off guard?
Well, you know, because I'm a busted can of biscuits, I thought, well, they might view me as a liability because I'm heavy. And not that I'm a liability at all, because I'm like I always say, I've got a heart of a lion and strong as an ox. Don't let this jelly belly fool you now, And I used to be an athlete 20 years ago, so that that competitive drive is always in you.
Yeah.
And so, like, I was afraid that they would view me as a liability in challenges, and I feel like they did. I feel like they were like, the grappling hook thing in the very beginning. I was like, hey, I played cornhole.
Yeah.
All rednecks know what cornhole is. You're pitching a bag, it takes some aim, and I got surpassed up. I got passed up on that, and it was like, all right, just keep.
I felt like those challenges that we go in saying, okay, let's calm down. Like I'm the old guy that's playing like that's okay, guys. It's one step at a time. Let's be patient, all that kind of stuff. You don't have to rush through everything. As soon as the challenge started, it turned into all over the map.
It's like hogs gone wild. I mean, it was like, dude, like we were so. I think that's why we couldn't win, because we were so chaotic.
Yeah,
and like they would. They wouldn't listen. Nobody. Yeah. I was telling them, like, when the U is gone by now, but the puzzle, 25 times I told them that puzzle piece was wrong, and they wouldn't listen to anything I had to just scream. And that's how it was. It's like if it wasn't coming out their mouth, they wasn't trying to hear it.
Right, and that's the thing you got to be careful about in the game, right? Like you even though you're right and you're telling them what's going on, you can't.
Oh, I put it in. I was like, okay.
Yeah. Because if you two get too forceful, they're gonna now somebody's gonna turn on you, right? Especially if it doesn't work. No, it's Elaine's fault, right? And that's ultimately what happened to Karishma too. Like to her credit, she tried to, especially with the first challenge, she tried to take charge with the puzzle up there. The worst defeat that's ever happened in Survivor history. So the poor girl got to. And I should be careful with Karishma too. I still don't know her that well. But
Karishma's a good person. Yeah, she's a good person, bro. Yeah. You didn't get to know her outside the game. You've kind of distanced yourself from everybody. Yeah. I mean, just talking to me is about the only person you talk to, ain't it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Karishma's a good person, but you have one perspective of her, and just you have game Karishma. And me and Karishma have talked for hours about the games, the game she played, and the wrongs of both of us, and the things that I saw that she saw totally different. And that's the thing, is like when people say this is my truth, you can't really argue.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. But she's a good person, dude. She's actually pretty cool. She'd probably drink old Big Tom behind under the table, son.
She can drink tequila or not.
Now, yeah, she'll throw them back, boy. I'm telling you. You might have more in common with her than you think, buddy.
So, okay. So if they come back, I can't, you maybe can't tell me, but if they came back and asked you to go on the show again, would you do it?
Oh yeah, I'd do it. I mean, ain't nobody called me yet, but I would totally go if they hollered at me. And I'm hoping they do. It's just, when they get these bright ideas, like sometimes it doesn't involve returning players. They have these.
Wow. Well, I looked at some numbers too. Somebody tweeted something that I can't remember who it was, about how the numbers really weren't that great for opening night, even for season 40 here with all those returning great players. So I think that's what they're looking at. So
yeah, well, I think that's just. I think maybe they might want to think about switching up the time slot. You know what I mean? Like they're going against Masked Singers, so they're losing viewers there. I mean, I don't know what the right time slot would be for.
We should call up your buddy Jeff there, and you guys can hug it out. Like you guys,
hey, like he always said he wanted to have a beer. We still haven't had a beer. We drank some champagne right after the season wrapped.
Right.
And but no, it ain't no beers. The champagne ain't no beer. But he's like, yeah, I'd love to have a beer with Elaine. It's like, Jeff, where's my beer at? Come on.
All right. So a little bit of a touchy subject. Like a lot of us, you really dreamed of being on the show. Unfortunately for our show, it was plagued with some nasty scandal there with the whole Dan and Kelly business. So, I mean, I guess, I wasn't, again, I didn't have any interaction with Dan. So I just saw him at that 5 days before, and I just didn't get a good feeling about him. So I don't know the man, haven't interacted with him at all. But from what I saw on TV there, it was, it was unfortunate, right? That was dragged into the game. Such a touchy subject like that, right?
Yeah. Well, I don't think Dan is a terrible person. I think Dan is just somebody that made mistakes. He needs to learn his spatial awareness. And I think the thing about any kind of situation like this is it's an opportunity for everybody to learn and grow. And Dan is the biggest component of that. This is a huge opportunity for him to learn and grow and become a different person. You know what I'm saying? But the same could be said for everybody that was involved.
Right.
The producers, the cast, you know what I mean? Like the audience members, you know what I mean? Like everybody involved, there's something to be learned, and there's something that can help all of us. And the key is that you got to be willing to look for that, man. You can't just hone in on the bad. You got to go and focus on the bigger picture. And the bigger picture is learning, growing, and moving forward. And man, the hate that was spit out after all that stuff went down, like I understand people were heated. I understand that people were upset, but being upset and voicing your opinion is one thing, but like just spewing hate, like nothing comes from hate but hate.
Right.
You know, like
Right.
I didn't agree with all that. I wish it had I wish everything would have been different, but it is what it is. And I'm just trying to, for me personally, I had never knew anything about like the Me Too movement, the Time's Up thing. So I actually learned some stuff. And you know, anytime you can learn things and become a better person, I'm here for it. So that's the stuff I try to take away from it. And you know, Kelly felt how she felt. You can't deny how she felt, and it is what it is. I just hope moving forward that the show itself has learned some things, but I really hope that the viewers watching maybe not so jump on the bandwagon with their torches.
Yeah.
You know,
well, and just so people are clear, on the show Survivor, Dan, one of the players who started off on the other tribe, and they showed some instances like he was pretty hands-on with a lot of the girls there, and Kelly, one of the other players, took objection to it and actually went to Dan and told him that they didn't like it. It continued on and became a big issue. They were going to vote Dan out at one point. That was kind of used against Kelly. And I think that's where a lot of the problems started there, right? Where, you know, it was and rightfully so. So now the Me Too movement, people are watching this, and it wasn't just them, but there's, you know, anybody that fights for women's rights and women shouldn't get abused at all. Saw that as, listen, this is, you guys used a very, very sensitive topic as gameplay, and that went over the line. And that's there. And some of the players were receiving hate mail, from what I understand too, right?
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying. Like, people made mistakes. People messed up. Yeah. I wasn't a part of I didn't know what was going on for them. And when I got to Ponderosa, Kelly filled me in on a lot. So, but you know, I'm still not gonna I'm not the kind of person, I'm not gonna jump on the bandwagon and tell somebody I want to kill them or I'm not gonna do that. That's the part that it was like, you know, like they shouldn't have ever exaggerated it, but it's like, man, they've got to have a chance to redeem themselves and learn from this and move forward. Like, you can't just, when people make one mistake and you just throw them out, like, what are we just supposed to cast them to the side? Right. You know, it's supposed to be they learn and then you welcome them back in the fold. That's how, as a human being, you know what I mean? That's how we should be, because nobody's perfect. Everybody messes up. So,
I guess and I hear you. I guess and maybe it wasn't all shown on TV during the show, was once Kelly had gone to Dan and really show him that she didn't like that, she didn't want it to happen again, for it to continue, or at least it appeared to continue. That's the issue, right? I mean, and like you said, though, maybe it's, you know, a few people, maybe other players on the team, maybe the producers of the show should have gone to Dan and said, Dan, listen, you're a good person, you're a husband, you're a father, but this is inappropriate. It doesn't matter about the game. It doesn't matter that you're playing Survivor. That's just inappropriate for life in general, right?
Yeah, I mean, if somebody doesn't want you to touch their shoulder or their hair, or it doesn't matter, dude. You shouldn't do it. And he just didn't get it, and it is what it is. I just, like I said, I don't think Dan's a bad guy. I just think he needs to learn his lessons, keep his hands to himself, and he's not a bad guy.
So other than me being Mr. Wonderful and you liking me the best of anybody in the show, who else did you really get tight with?
I'm actually really good friends with a lot of people, man. I talk to Lauren and Chelsea on a regular basis. I talk to Big Red, old Tommy. I just talked to Jamal the other day. I talked to Karishma a few days ago. Hey, wait, are you coming to the wedding, Tom?
Your wedding?
Yeah. Are you
What day is
coming?
it? What day is it?
Don't do me like that,
I
Tom.
think
It's
I gotta
September.
rearrange my sock drawer that day.
It's it's September 25th.
I wouldn't miss it. Are you kidding me? I haven't got the invitation yet. So
Yeah, it's like did you give me your address?
no, I'll get that to you.
Yeah, see,
I'll
like
get
how
that
am
to
I
you.
supposed to send you an invitation if like you won't even give me your address and we're supposed to be best friends? It's like the whole it's
September?
the whole no, it's the hotel incident all over again. Tom, what room
Oh,
are
that's a
in?
good story. That's a good story. So, all right. So, Elena and I are great friends. We go for the finale out in LA. She just is getting to the airport or the hotel. We've already been there, but she just arriving at the front door as I'm arriving, and her whole family, her fiance, and everybody's there. And I've got all my stuff. I'm checking in. We all go up the elevator together. When I checked in, I swear to God, I thought the guy checking me in told me
You're so full of it.
No, I promise you.
I don't believe you.
I would love to tell you this is not the truth. Okay, so I'm going up there thinking it's the 12th floor. Elaine asked me, like, what floor are you on? We'll come up, we'll hang out. I said, I'm on the 12th floor. So I find out it's the 10th floor I'm on. So the family.
No, you know how I found out? I see Aaron in the hallway. I was like, hey, we're going down. He's like, all right, I'm going to see Tom. And I was like, wait a minute, where are you going? He's like, he's on the 10th floor. And I was like, Tom, what? 10th floor? I was like, what the crap? You totally lied to me. No.
I would love to tell you that I actually did that on purpose because that would have been very funny. It was an accident though, but it ended up your family's all like, well, I thought you guys were great friends. Like,
yeah, my fiance was like, I thought you and Tom was friends. I was like, we are. And she's like, he didn't tell you what room he was in. I was like, maybe she's right. Maybe I need to rethink this relationship. Vote your ass off the island.
I tell you, that was the thing that really surprised me, how much fun we had. As much as we played the game hard, like, getting off, the blind side with Ronnie right off the bat and Aaron being mad and all the other stuff going on.
Yeah.
We had fun out there. Like the group of people were able to say, okay, there's the gameplay over there, but we get dead time. We're going to have some fun here. We played charades that one night.
Yeah. Well, do you remember how like we would start working and everybody'd be so gung ho and they're like, oh yeah, for like 10 minutes. Yeah. And then they would and then me and you would be like, okay, so we're on break now. It's break time, right? Oh my God. I used to crack up every single time because it literally was every time we done anything. Yeah. It was for 10 minutes and then we'd break for an hour and a half. And then Aaron would come back, be all mad about whatever and start working again. And then everybody would start working and then we'd work for about 10 minutes. It was so funny. It was so funny.
I've told the story. We won't go into details, but I've told the story a few times. For me, I didn't think it through because they tell you, obviously, but there's no toilet paper out there. Then you get out there and realize, okay, so what are we going to do here? So you go out in the ocean. And I won't get too graphic with the details of what happens out in the ocean there, but obviously it's the ocean and you're doing your business out there in the ocean. The waves are crashing in. It's like stuff like that. I had a blast. Like I'll tell you, we had that first night when we were there and everybody's giving their impressions. So I think it was Elaine maybe said to me, I was the old guy, so we're all falling asleep. And they said, Pops, can you tell us a story? And I had made up this.
Costco. Oh, okay.
Sockeye salmon? I won't go into the whole detail, but I made up this story about where sockeye salmon came from. So they asked me to tell a story in the middle of the night. And I go into the story about how, it was invented on this island called Jimshu. Yeah. And so half the people, obviously I'm saying Jimshu, but I'd say it really quick. So half the people out there realized I was just being a smart ass and joking around. The other half were like, here's this old guy telling a story, so let's hang on every word he's got. And
that was so funny. We use Jimshu. That's what we've referred to the Ponderosa. We called Ponderosa Jimshu from then on. And dude, I wish you could have made merge, bro. Like I was so upset. I was so upset.
Well, you know what? So so just so everybody knows, we get to a point, people don't understand Survivor, you get to a certain point, they have a tribe swap. So Elaine and I are on the same tribe together. And then you take your buffs off, the scarf that signifies what tribe you're on, throw it away and you get a new one. And it's just random what tribe you end up on. They give you a little box that's all sealed. So I had formed, I guess we kind of had an alliance. There's Elaine, myself, Elizabeth, Missy, and Aaron, right? Yeah. And so there's 5 of us. So when the tribe swap happens, the 4 people I've got an alliance with are all over in the other tribe. And I'm with Dean and Krishma over there. So it was.
Dude, you got dealt such a crappy hand, and I was the one complaining, saying I was unlucky, and look at the hand you was dealt. Like, man,
But you know what, though, for me, I wanted, I think you're the same way. Like you went out there and we both did saying, okay, this is who I am. I'm going to play. I understand I need to play the game. Like we had to mislead Ronnie and Aaron to get Ronnie out, but we played a pretty honest game. It was about forming alliances, yes to the strategy and all that kind of stuff. So when they voted me off and they said it was because I was too loyal, I said, well, I guess if I'm getting voted off for something, I'll take that. So
yeah, see, that's the thing. Like I just wanted to find somebody I clicked with and then just stay true to that. And that's kind of like an old school Survivor. Totally. That's how it used to be back in the day. I mean, it's not so much like that now. The problem is that we were the only two people that wanted to play like that. Yeah, and we were playing with a bunch of new school players. Yeah. And that's why we didn't. I mean, I fared better than you did.
Yeah, but I'm with you. Like I remember watching the show and I was like, the stuff that was happening, like, Missy, I didn't know she was doing all this stuff.
I tried to tell you, I was like, yo, she's totally playing harder than anybody. And I thought it was funny how they thought, or Missy thought, that their relationship, she kept her and Aaron's relationship so quiet. And all me and you talked about was getting rid of the two of them. So it's like, but yeah, it was man, they were on another level. I was trying to slow it down and just play the old school style Survivor. Yeah. And then, when they wanted to get rid of me in the beginning, I was like, I think you're making a mistake because I'm loyal. Yeah. And you have to make it to the end. And the only way you do that is by trusting some people and making the right moves. And I thought getting rid of somebody who was loyal was the wrong move.
Yeah, I know. I think, and you're right though. I think they were playing a different game, right? They were playing a game where they were constantly trying to, make a move, like have a blindside.
Make a move just to make a move. Like I didn't understand that. It's like, why are we doing that? Yeah. Well, the Chelsea vote was the biggest one. Yeah. And I didn't want to vote out Dean or Chelsea, but nobody was listening to me.
Well, it was the whole showmance thing there too. And I think everybody knew there was no showmance there. They weren't a couple, but everybody, okay, that's a reason to go after one of those two, right? So
yeah, it's just, man, if we could have worked it out better, if you had been on the island, it would have been a lot better. Yeah, you would have been my meat shield. I could have hid behind you.
All right, guys. So just so you're aware, again, this is Elaine. So what do you've got the book you're writing. That's going to be out in a few months. That'll get done. T-shirts are coming out too. What do you got?
Yeah, I think they're sending me the mock-ups now so I can start. I think when I get them and I actually start posting about them, that's when we'll start selling them. Once they give me the link and stuff for the website. But yeah, we're selling T-shirts. Tom, I'm going to get you. It says biscuit problems. You need a shirt.
I want to be King Biscuit. I want Super Biscuit.
Super Biscuit.
So
that's awesome.
If people want to find you on Instagram, or is it just Elaine Stott?
Yeah, it's Elaine Stott 32. That's Instagram or Twitter. You guys go follow me. And I don't have any room on Facebook. I got a fan page.
That's a big shot, aren't you?
I'm maxed out on Facebook friends. Well, a lot of people, I have a lot of older fans, and Facebook is their thing. And it's like, man, I'm maxed out. I can't,
But and they can still go there and follow you, right? I mean, you got the 5,000 max fans, but they can still go there and follow you. So,
I think so. Yeah. And then I got, which I don't know if they know that or not, but now they know. Now they know.
Right, so everybody knows. So maybe you can get a T-shirt made up like Jeff Probst's best buddy or something like that too. Like,
I should totally think about that. Or
Proby's pal. Proby.
Proby. Yeah, remember how you said, "Oh, I'm gonna call him Proby, and I'm gonna say this," and we get to try, or we get into tribal or the challenge, and you like, no, Jeff. And you would totally back down, Tom. You would chicken out.
How about the funny one? We go to first tribal council. We're acting stupid. Elaine came up with the idea that after you're done talking, you're just going to go random, like go meow.
We were getting ready to go to the challenge. We hadn't seen them yet. And we were getting ready to go to the challenge, and we had come up with this thing. Well, I said, yo, we should do Super Troopers and use the word meow. And everybody, we just went on a kick for like 2 hours talking about how we were going to do it. Yeah, it was so funny. Well, we get to the challenge, and then all these yahoos behind me are elbowing me and kicking me, and they're like, do it. So when Jeff says something to me, you had to get it back to end where you said the word meow. Yeah.
Right.
So whenever I can't remember where I just said, Jeff, I'm ready to go, right? Meow. And then the whole tribe said, meow. Oh my God. I almost lost it.
Jeff looked at us like, what?
Oh, he hated it. He hated it. So
that's the one thing I didn't really recognize, that they're so in control of all that stuff. Obviously, they edited that out, you know.
Oh, yeah. And so we get back to camp, and then for like 3 hours, we just laughed and talked about how mad he was. It was hilarious, though. But yeah, you guys put me up to doing so much.
Yeah.
And I'm like the little dummy that does it. And it's like,
did somebody else start calling us Big Dummy, Little Dummy, or is that us that call ourselves Big Dummy, Little Dummy?
No, I started it. I was like, yo, we could be big dummy, little dummy, and we'll do a ventriloquist act. And I you know, I thought that would be hilarious.
I had this habit too, when I, especially a tribal counselor, I was using my hands a lot when I was Wayne would do this imitation of me, like with the hands flying around. And so she's doing this imitation. I'm going, oh, Jeff. I love you.
Yeah, every time we come back to camp, you talk trash about how Jeff loves me so much, because me and Jeff got along, and he joked around with me. So he'd be like, oh, I'm so sick of it. You know, after you were gone, like me and Dean would always do the dad thing. We go,
oh, is that right?
Yeah, we did.
That was funny. All right, so we got over. We're way longer than we're supposed to, but we're going to do this again. We're probably going to try to do this once a week. So great to have you on, Elaine.
It was good seeing your ugly mug again. That's
All right, that's it, guys. We'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, Tom.
Bye.